Welcome to the Oddity Shop, where the bizarre is always on sale.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Oddity Shop podcast. I am one of your two lovely curators here, Zach, sitting here with the other one, Kara freaking...
Whatever.
I'm always going to call you by the wrong last name. You're just Kara. What's up, just Kara?
Well, you know, life is lifing, and you and I are going through it, but we are pushing through. You are gaslighting yourself into being happy. I think you just need to fake it. We just gaslight
ourselves every day.
Make it.
I feel like gaslighting yourself is just another way of saying that.
Yeah, but it sounds maybe worse. I think it sounds bad, more negative. So that's where we are. It's a gloomy, rainy, yucky, cold Thursday.
It might be a gloomy, rainy, yucky, cold Thursday, but this is the Oddity.
It is a Oddity.
Oddity Shop podcast where we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange stories from around the world, and I feel like gloomy weather is kind of perfect for us.
It actually is, but I have my blind shut, so I can't like look at it because that would be like nice to have like that ambiance. But do you want to tell everybody what we actually committed to and we're actually doing on Saturday?
Yes, I think we've talked about it a little bit, but we're finally going to the Eloise Asylum paranormal lockdown where we're going to spend 12 hours locked inside, hanging out with ghosts. I'm super excited.
I am too. I'm not even afraid or like nervous or anything. Do you know what I'm so worried about?
What are you so worried about?
Once I get tired and I want to go to bed, how mean I might be to you.
Well, then I'll just put you to sleep in your car and I'm going to keep having fun because if you start being mean to me, I will walk away.
No, but you know how you and I both get like when we're just done with something and we just get like with each other, which is totally normal and we've accepted it. I just feel like that might happen because we're going to be like tired. But I'm hoping that we're just amped up and like we're having such a great time that we don't ever feel tired. But 6 to 6, we're old. I don't know if I can do that anymore.
At least after 3, you know, if it starts getting too late for us, we can just go, we'll just go take a nap.
This is true. I'm acting.
It's going to be really dark in there. We could just find a dark room. I'll bring a couple sleeping bags.
Dude, I almost thought about that. Should we just bring some blankets? We would be the only ones. Just like, you know what, y'all, we got to take just a little power nap. Everyone's like going to be like, what is wrong with you people?
Everyone else leaves at 6 in the morning and they just can't find us because we're passed the fuck out.
No, but I'm like super excited.
I am too. What else has been going on in your life?
Nothing. That's my excitement. That's why I brought it up.
I got a trip home. Oh my God. I already can't speak. Trip home to my parents' house.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a trip plan with Julia. Sorry.
No, you just don't let me finish my sentences. So it was nice to hang out with them and have a few days where I was just chilling.
Yes.
But that's about it. It's been an uneventful start to the year.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like winter and now it's like kind of getting into spring. So it's expected to not be so.
Bring on the good weather. All right, we're rambling. What's your question today?
What's my favorite band?
I feel like I should just be able to rail this right out. But now that I'm having to think about it, it should just like flow. The Used.
Thank you. Good job. What's your favorite band?
Probably Streetlight Manifesto or the Front Bottoms.
It's Streetlight Manifesto. We're talking about Streetlight Manifesto.
Wait, what?
No, we're not. We're talking about Streetlight Interference Phenomenon. And every time I kept typing in Streetlight, I kept typing in Streetlight Manifesto. Because I was just thinking about you. So I was
because they're amazing.
They are amazing.
First of all, anybody who has never listened to the ska greatness that is Streetlight Manifesto, pause this right now, play the Keys Be Nights album, you will immediately become a fan.
It did used to be one of my favorite bands in high school, but I honestly don't remember anything.
I think that's one of the first things you and me ever bonded over.
It was. Anyway, so we're talking about Streetlight Interference Phenomenon. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Okay, so...
Can we just call it SIF for short?
No, because it already has an abbreviation, so shut up. So, straight to Wikipedia we go. Streetlight interference phenomena is the claimed ability of individuals to turn streetlights or outside building security lights on or off when passing near them. Believers in streetlight interference, SLI, allege that they experience it on a regular basis with specific lamps and streetlights and more frequently than chance would explain. However, SLI has never been demonstrated to occur in scientific experiments, and those who claim the ability have been found to be unable to reproduce the effect on demand. And this is also often referred to as high voltage syndrome, or HVS. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the high voltage syndrome.
I've never heard of any of this, and I'm really excited.
Okay, cool.
Also,
yes,
in case anybody from Wikipedia ever pays attention to us, you should sponsor us already, because we shout you out every freaking episode.
Yeah.
Might not be shouted out loud, but it's always in the show notes. Sponsor us, Wiki.
Yeah, do that. Okay. Okay. So the term streetlight interference was coined by the proponent of paranormal phenomena, author Hilary Evans. And Hilary Evans was a British pictorial archivist, author, and researcher into UFOs and other paranormal phenomena.
We talked about her in the African school episode.
Yeah, so she did write a book on this called The SLI Effect, and I was going to read it. However, it was $75, and I just wasn't into that price point.
Ooh, that's steep.
That's why I was like,
book.
ooh, no. But now I'm like, damn, I
can't get that for a credit on Audible.
I know, and but I really wanted to read it. But then I was like, it's probably going to be one of those books where only like 20% of it would make it to my brain.
Yeah.
So what's 20% of 75?
Math.
Yeah, that's how much I would pay for it. Moving on.
Perfect.
Okay. So you might be like, okay, what's the big deal? Lights turn on when you pass. Like, that's convenient. Like, when I walk into my garage, the motion light goes on. So, like, I never have to turn the light on. I just walk right through the garage, the light comes on, and it's just so convenient. Like, I wish that was, like, throughout my house. Like, that's convenient.
Fancy, huh?
Yeah.
It is convenient.
It is. Okay. Well, people who report to have experienced SLI have noticed instances where light bulbs frequently burn out or flicker when trying to turn them on or off. Lamps turn on and off without being touched. Children's electronic toys start by themselves. Volume levels change on TVs, phones, radios, or anything that has like volume levels. Watches stop working or lose time. Credit cards and other magnetically encoded cards become damaged or erased when they are in their possession. Streetlights turn off and on as you pass. Cars or motorbikes having difficulty starting or stalling when they're near them. Computers and phones malfunctioning or crashing frequently.
So everything electronic.
TV channels changing or turning off randomly. Printers malfunctioning or printing out random symbols or characters, which that's really creepy to me.
That would freak me out.
I don't know why that part creeps me out more than anything.
Okay, I did this to somebody, though.
What?
I had stayed at a friend's house. Sorry, Chelsea. And
Chelsea.
Stole the code to her wireless printer. So I just kept printing dicks, like coloring
Pictures
sheets. Like, yeah, they're like penis coloring sheets but they just kept coming, and she had put it together, and I sent one more, I think, like after her like mom had just gotten there or something. She changed the codes after that, which rightfully so.
Wait, so she did figure out, she put it together that was you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's
I
so
think
funny.
she knew pretty much from Dick 1, but
I think I might have already told the story on here, but it goes along with what you just said. When we were in high school, one of my friends, well, she passed away now, but one of my friends, her neighbor, he'd always kind of mess with us. So one day we had her mom, when he got home from work, like kind of stall him and like, come on over, I want to like show you something. Did we tell you this? Or you're just saying
no,
it?
No, I was just saying, yeah.
We snuck into his house and programmed our remote control to his TV.
Oh, that's great.
So then when he went back home, we were literally hiding in the fucking, I remember being on top of the fence, like looking into his like living room window. And like my other two friends were like in the bushes, and he was watching some sort of big game, and we kept changing the channel. And it was the funniest thing, because you would just hear him like, motherfucker, what the goddamn shit. And then, oh my God, it was so funny. And then we kept changing it to
That's literally the opening scene of the movie Poltergeist. He's watching a sports game, but it's just their houses are too close, and like the 80s or 70s or whatever, it's like the remotes were just all the same.
Well, yeah, that's what we did. And then we would just like blast the volume. It was so fucking funny. And then he did figure it out, because he heard us giggling in the fucking bushes. And I fell over the fence.
Nice.
So anyway, but the printer with the random symbols, I don't know why that just like creeps me out. So fridges or other household appliances malfunction, electronic locks or security systems malfunctioning or failing to work in their presence. and light bulbs consistently blow up, which I had a light bulb blow up in that apartment that was kind of haunted. That freaked me out. Cell phone calls dropping or having like poor signal strength, like especially when they're near that device. So it's kind of scary and dangerous, like the things that transpire. Can you imagine that's your life?
Can we take a break?
Why?
Why did you write this episode on purpose?
What do you mean?
I didn't know this was a thing. This literally happens to me every day.
Yeah.
So the bathroom lights, right?
Yeah, we've talked about the light, you and I.
There's like 4 or 5 streetlights that every time I go past them, 2 of them are by my parents' house. They always turn off.
Are you keeping this in the episode? Because this is great.
No, I'm cutting this all out.
Why?
Because I need to know where, because I didn't know this was a thing.
Keep this in.
Dude, every time you and me have had a phone call for the years, they don't work.
That's so, keep all this in.
I have the keyless entry to my car that never works.
I totally forgot about that. Oh my God, this is
How many times has this computer crashed on me?
You need to keep all of this in because this is great. All right, well, apparently now we're just learning about Zach, so I'll continue on.
Which is why I've been like, okay, like, what is this like a real thing? I honestly thought I thought some streetlights were just on a thing that they turned out when off when you walked under them.
This is so funny. I totally forgot.
Is that not a thing?
No, I totally forgot that these things happen to you because I guess I have, like, you don't talk about them like in a row where I would put it all together until you just said it now.
Because I didn't even know it was a thing until you were saying that it's a thing.
Oh my God.
These things happen to me all the time.
Y'all are hearing this, well, kind of live, that this is Zach. This is crazy. I love this.
Okay. Well, you better have some answers at the end of this one.
Okay. Ooh, God, I'm so dumb because I know all these things happen to you. I just never thought about it this way.
Do you feel the most powerful and beautiful with the elements of the earth around you? Do you like one-of-a-kind jewelry? Do you sometimes feel like a woodland fairy? Me too. That's why I created Holly and Hemlock, a magical shop filled with handmade wooden jewelry and metaphysical tools. Come check out our enchanting wooden wares at www.hollyhemlock.com and join us in honoring the magic and beauty of nature with each unique creation. That's www.hollyhemlock.com.
I never put them all together as one thing until you're going down the list. And I'm like, okay, yep, check.
That's me. Okay.
This is weird. Okay.
So anyway,
go on, please.
My eyes are watering so bad I can't see. Hold on, I need a drink. Keep all this in. It's hilarious. Okay. In 1846, poor 14-year-old Angelique Cotton was weaving gloves with some other girls. So that was their job. You know, they were weaving silk gloves. I don't know why I'm doing this motion to you because that's not weaving.
I was going with it.
So the frame that she was using, that like the glove sits on or whatever, began to jump about and retreated from her grasp like repelling magnets. So all these girls are like, what the
weird
fuck? Like, holy shit. Can you imagine? That'd be so strange. So this is 1846. So I bet you can guess what happened after that.
Witch.
You're a witch. Yes, she was accused of witchcraft. She was dubbed the electric person. And without going in too much to her, so like kind of like a long story short, but her family used this kind of as a marketing scheme and made their money off of like the freak show that she was, which is so sad. But like tables and chairs would fly away from her and she'd be like ejected by like from the seat, like if she sat on.
Were they metal?
No, just like things would just repel from her. It's so weird.
That is really weird.
They started doing a ton of experiments on this poor girl. She was like in a lab for a really long time with all these different like doctors and professors trying to do all these experiments on her, which had to be so scary first off, because like you're like, what is going on with me? And then you've got all these people poking and prying into your life.
And these are 1800s doctors.
Exactly.
So, you know, they're like bloodletting and like putting a leech on you and giving you probably cocaine.
So, all kinds of shit. So the left side of her seemed to run hot and be the cause of most of the activity, if not all of it. So like her left side just seemed to be like radiate more heat from that side. And like her left hand or whatever, like motions of her left side of the body would be like more active to like repel and retract, like all that crazy crap. LaFontaine was a doctor in the lab, and he stated when she brought her wrist near a lighted candle, the flame bent over horizontally as if continually blown upon. So like, you know, you can vision that when you blow a candle and it kind of like bends. So when she put her left hand over it, it just kind of like bent away from her continuously. Isn't that
so weird.
wild?
Is it like a magnetic field thing?
I don't know. So this phenomenon lasted for 10 weeks for this poor child. And then it just stopped.
Oh.
How weird. Just one day you're just knitting and shit starts flying away from you. And then like.
That or like some sort of electrical, like,
Yeah.
I mean, our bodies are electrified,
yeah.
you know? I wonder.
It's electrifying.
Weird.
Okay.
I got you.
They're multiplying.
I knew you couldn't not say the next words.
Okay. I can't. In 1976, a 12-year-old Vivian Jones of Bristol found that he could illuminate light bulbs by touching them. And this was discovered after breaking his arm.
I've heard of this kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Televisions and like lights would also flicker in his presence, and his hair just stood up straight on his head.
That I remember. Yeah, it's like just like straight up. I have seen pictures of this.
But how weird that you just break your arm and then all of a sudden like you can touch a light bulb and it lights up.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
That'd be super convenient, though.
That part would, because then you could just hold a light bulb. You don't need batteries for a flashlight, or you don't need to light a match for a little torch, whatever they're using in 1983. Wait.
Flashlights. Oh, my God.
Keep that in, too.
Back to the dark
This should just be a raw episode. Don't even edit. Fuck it.
You guys can see the real us.
Oh, God.
Yeah, believe it. The other episodes you have listened to are somewhat polished. It gets worse.
Okay, wait. To be fair, whatever. I don't care. So, no, he was in 76. Still, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm dead. All right. In 1893, Jacqueline Priestman of Manchester. I love it when they give of the place. Like, okay.
Right, like she's some hot to do person.
Right. She claimed to have blown up 30 vacuum cleaners, 5 irons, and 2 washing machines.
Girl did chores.
She tried. I don't think she got them done.
Probably not.
And then she also caused television to change channels. Mandy Broadman, which I don't know of where because it didn't say, but she got through 6 vacuum cleaners and 6 TVs in 3 years. So not 30 vacuums, but still 6. Vacuum cleaners are expensive, so that really fucking sucks because I bet you they don't, unless you could use like the warranty. If they completely blow up, though, no. Well, could you? Because I'd be like, I don't know what's wrong with this vacuum.
I have never used a warranty in my life. I have no idea.
Here's what I would do if I were these two. I would for sure buy different vacuums every time because I wouldn't want to buy the same manufacturer because then they're probably like, what are you doing to these vacuums? You know, like if you keep like cashing in on like the warranty.
Right.
So you'd have to buy like different models. Are there even 30 different brands of vacuums? There has to be.
I'm sure.
Maybe not in 83.
Or just buy them used because like you know it's not going to last that long anyway.
That's a good idea. You're so smart. Okay, so for her friends said that she always gave them a shock when touching them. Now we're saying it's not so convenient. Like it's not just lights are turning on, you know. It's like,
right. You're just frying everything you touch.
So what's going on here?
I would like to know.
Well, we don't know.
Damn it.
So
just to give a little more credence to why I'm so shocked, my family literally, so they called it the Christmas curse. If my parents bought me anything electronic for Christmas, the receipt would be in it and we would be there the person in the return aisle the day after Christmas because it never worked.
I didn't know that part.
3 PlayStation 2s.
This is so crazy. Okay.
This is a really weird. So I'm mad that you don't have answers.
Okay. So not so open-minded folk would say that the light flickering is a coincidence, right? Or like you said, the lights coming on as you walk under it is like motion activated, or you thought it was just like...
I straight up thought it was. I'm actually really interested in this now.
Okay, so Mark, I think it's Pilkington, wrote an article in The Guardian, and this is what he said.
Okay.
Also, I can't remember if I said this earlier. I think I might have skipped over it. So SLI is the abbreviation of it. So if you have this, you're called a slider, but it's capital S, capital L, capital I, lowercase DERS. So you're a slider.
Lowercase der.
So you're a slider. Okay. So Mark says, the majority of sliding incidents are easily explained. When common sodium and mercury vapor streetlights wear out, they cycle, flicker on and off, owing either to changes in the consistency of the vapor inside them or to aging electrodes.
Makes sense.
At other times, the light-sensitive cells that operate them can develop glitches, leading to the whole banks of the light behaving peculiarly. On witnessing this, our pattern-detecting minds make the connection and assume that we have interfered with the light.
Okay.
No, I'm not going on with that. No. So how about something to do with the electronic impulses of the brain?
Ooh, are you saying my brain is extra electric?
Yeah, maybe. Stephen Wagner wrote, all of our thoughts and movements are the result of electrical impulses that the brain generates. At present, it is known that these measurable impulses only have an effect on the individual's body. But is it possible that they could have an effect outside the body, a kind of remote control? So now I like where we're going.
Okay, I have a lot of racing thoughts, and if that equals energy.
Well, I just think that, I like that thought better than
coincidence.
Okay.
Coincidence is just such a cop-out explanation. I understand why.
No, I think that
brains do look for patterns, but
we do. But when anyone says
enough weird shit,
yeah, and in anything, I don't know. I can't think of another example. But if anyone were to be like, "Oh, it's a coincidence," I'm just like, it's because your brain is puny and it can't comprehend anything else.
Right. Or just think outside of the box.
Puny little brain. Okay. Back to Wiki.
But not our listeners, because they believe you guys have huge brains.
So back to Wiki we go. So, okay. Wiki says, where some proponents...
Huge brains we have.
My puny little brain. It's at least my puny brain tries, okay?
That's fair.
Some proponents believe static electricity or some kind of energy emitted by the human body is responsible for SLI. Others claim the alleged phenomenon is caused by individuals having psychic or psychokinetic ability. So now I'm on board.
Okay.
Research at Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research, which is PAIR for short, but I don't think they operate anymore. So at their lab, they suggested that the subconscious can indeed affect electronic devices. This was based on the study of ESP and telekinesis that they did. So it wasn't directly SLI, but it was a research that they did around that stuff.
Gotcha.
So tell me now if this is also you. Emotions seem to play a part in sliders. So SLI effect isn't conscious, but sliders seem to pinpoint some of their episodes, if you will, on times when they're highly emotional. So slider Debbie Wolf told CNN, when it happens is when I'm stressed about something, not manically stressed, just when I'm really mulching something over, really chewing something over in my head, and then it happens.
Okay, well, I mean, if we think about the kid on Christmas, right? My electronics weren't working probably because I was so overly excited. I was just frying.
Yep. So yeah, your emotion
was an excited Christmas kid.
You freaking would be.
Oh yeah, I was.
I was just see you.
I was big on Christmas.
I mean, I was too, but when you're super stressed out, do you feel like?
I feel like that's when my computers stop working on electronics. But I always just thought it's it's like when your belt loop gets stuck on the counter or the drawer.
Oh god damn!
When you're already having a bad day, I always just thought it was a coincidence. But hey,
you puny mind. Okay.
Listen, watch out. I might have ESP. I'm gonna bend all your spoons from here.
I hope you become Matilda.
Oh, me too.
Okay. So, I just want to...
It's just every time I think of Matilda, I think of that song On My Way.
I know. But also, wouldn't it be great to be adopted by Miss Honey? Not that we don't like our parents, but Miss Honey. Ugh. Loved her.
As long as I never got put in the chokey.
Crunchable. Okay.
Okay.
I think, and so do some other open-minded peeps, that this is possibly a psychic event that is just beginning to be recognized for a psychic thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think though, like,
Yes.
when we break it down that way, and I'm sorry if I'm getting ahead of you, right? It's like a psychic event isn't like what you're thinking in your head, like I'm having like a that's a Raven moment looking into the future or anything, right? Like, I feel like psychic events are more just like, at least in this sense, a high strange event thing that's like outside of your control but still created by the body, almost like a poltergeist being created by like psychic energy, but it's not always like
that's like
seeing into the future and talking to ghosts,
like an egregore-ish type of thing, like okay, so sorry, I just lost my thought because I was getting goosebumpy. Hillary Evans told CNN, it's quite obvious from the letters I get that these people are perfectly healthy, normal people. It's just that they have some kind of ability. Just a gift they've got. It may not be a gift they would like to have. When I was like kind of doing this research and stuff and thinking about it kind of like the way you were, like, I don't know. It really gave me in a different way, but in the same way, like Satori and Cody vibes.
Yeah.
Like something about their bodies bring on the phenomena that they have. It kind of like made me think, it's just weird. Like, how does somebody...
There's more to like this like psychic expenditure of energy that's just like your typical table medium. Yeah. Or parlor tricks.
Yes. So here's where we can discuss. I gave us time to discuss if you have any other thoughts that you may have, or if you wanted to share some of your other like things you can think of about you.
Okay. So, I mean, as far as like the discussion goes on it, right? Like, I think we're kind of onto something there where it's an uncontrolled thing on your body. I don't know if psychic doesn't feel like the right way. It feels like it's almost like,
well, I will say
like maybe more electric than other people because your entire body runs on electrical impulses and everything else like your brain does. Maybe some are just more like charged than others or run at a different, I'm probably wrong, voltage.
I don't know what the term would be.
I forgot the electronic law. I know Ohm's law comes into it, but that's all I know.
What I will say is that the paper versions, but like the written stuff are like, like the quote unquote research stuff says that it can't be controlled, but that's wrong. Some people can control it and manipulate it in a way. So then it is more of like a telekinesis type of thing. So I think it just depends on your ability. And that is kind of like psychics and mediums and things like that. They all have different abilities and different strength levels. I
guess like that, almost like the ESP is the better, right? That
maybe, I guess maybe that would be better than any of it. But yeah, I totally forgot that all this shit happens to you. Now you've got to start.
Well, I never really put it together until you're making the whole list. I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah. So now it's your homework to start like when things happen to think about like if you're really stressed or like what's happening when it happens. Now I'm really curious.
All right. I'll keep a little journal for you.
What lights do it when you drive by? Do they do it every single time?
It's not. So there's two really old streetlights in my parents' neighborhood that always did. And I just always kind of assumed they were on some sort of timer.
Which I mean, I probably would too.
But then, so it's happened a couple times in Grand Rapids. I know one time a coworker had called me to talk about like some creepy stuff that was happening. Of course, they call me.
Right, of course.
And like, I always took like a flickering light as a sign that some sort of spirit thing is happening.
And you and I have talked about that.
Happens often in my bathroom.
Yep.
But that's like this time the coworker was talking to me. I'm standing outside and the street light kept turning off and on. And I'm like,
ooh.
Well, this is happening to me now. So it's just like, it seems to be like when it's charged situations or emotional or whatever, especially like my computer electronics, they all seem to go at like the same time.
Yeah.
It's always when I'm already having a terrible day.
Okay. So yeah, yours is probably more emotion based.
I think so. Damn Pisces and me and not controlling my emotions.
Your fucking emotions.
I bury it so deep that I just destroy all the electronics around me.
Listen, now we know what we need to do. Don't bury them down. Don't have them. You know what? Fuck.
If I knew how to do that.
Listen, you know what? Go back into the old times when boys didn't have feelings. They weren't allowed to talk about them. Just internalize that shit.
True,
and then maybe your electronics would work.
Toxic masculinity will finally save me.
Don't do that. Okay. So now that we've kind of discussed some thoughts, I have some
Slider stories
from Sliders.
I knew it. Okay. First of all, though, like, I really, really, really want a shitty, greasy
Slider
burger. Yeah. Okay. I want sliders so bad now.
I'm so sorry. All right. Are you ready? Yes. Okay.
I'm ready.
My sister and I both have it. Hers is when she is stressed, angry, and really is specific to streetlights. Mine can do that too. My other symptoms include watches and clocks, batteries die, and the hands fall off, which that was crazy to me. The fucking hands of watches and clocks fall off. I've had batteries die and the hands fall off watches other people around me wearing them. Back in the day when we had Walkmans and CD players that ran on batteries, my mom would get so mad at me because batteries would go dead on me in hours and we were poor. Watches and batteries don't seem to be...
Do you remember how expensive batteries used to be?
They still are.
I mean, they still are, but I feel like they're the exact same price they were 20 years ago, which is...
I guess I don't really remember that, to be honest, but I just know they're expensive now.
Oh, I do, because my mom kept reminding me. Well, makes sense now. My mom always reminded me how expensive batteries were, but
Denise.
Putting it all together.
Denise is going to be listening to this episode and just be like, oh, wow, that happened? Yep,
Denise,
that happened.
I am a slider.
It's not his fault. Okay, watches and batteries don't seem to be related to emotions. I also had a thankfully brief phase where steak knives were breaking apart in my hands, just snapping in half, like the metal part. Other odd metal things that shouldn't break have broken in my hands. Metal faucet turn handles, piece of rebar, just random. Some interference with laptops and tablets, but it seems to be more related to things I am in physical contact with. Things like automatic sinks and hand dryers, and toilets won't sense that I'm there. I once accidentally pulled the door off a van. That may just be my unusual physical strength. Overall, I don't understand this, so maybe you will. Overall, just call it the Kavorka, and it's stolen from Seinfeld. And my Kavorka...
Oh, I was never a Seinfeld fan.
My Kavorka tends to be electrical or metal, and that's from Old Times Blues 97. Okay, that one is strange to me because it's weird that automatic things don't sense it. Because I would think that they would sense that person like the instant that they walked into the room. So like... Yeah,
those are usually done by light. But it might be like instead of the motion part failing, the electronic behind the motion failing.
Oh, I guess, yeah, you're right. I was thinking about
like the
motion
actual
part.
Component.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because I was thinking oppositely, like if you're charged, like it would be like the hand dryers would just go off as you walk in.
Right.
Okay, that makes more sense. I wasn't thinking about it that part. But the steak knife got me. Can you freaking imagine a steak knife just breaking, like the metal part of a steak knife just breaking in your hands?
No.
What would you do? You could never have steak?
I'd pick up the steak. I'm just going to I'm not going to not eat the steak.
But like forks,
I'm just going fingers first.
Forks are fine, just not the steak knife.
It's like like tuning forks are flat metal. Yeah. It's just hitting a weird frequency, and
that's sad. I'm sorry. Okay, moving on. My experience isn't much streetlights. I don't tend to go out much at night, but most electrical things don't like me. I can't wear watches. I've had 3 smartwatches this year alone, and they've all died after a week or so. Did yours ever break? No,
I just wore a dead watch for a year because I never remembered to charge it, and I felt naked without it. That one was 100%.
Yeah, that was just
me.
you. Okay, so the battery dies, then refuses to charge. I have had several laptops, all refuse to open apps or load pages at times and continuously go screwy. Mobile phone batteries last only hours sometimes. It's been the reason I renew my phone early. The batteries stop charging or just can't hold a charge very long. My current phone goes from 100 to 0 in around 3 hours, even if it's not in use. 2 cars have broken due to monumental electrical faults. I unlocked my car and the immobilizer instantly activated. The mechanics were perplexed and couldn't deactivate it, so it never started again and it had to be scrapped. If I stand near the TV, it sometimes switches off. And walking through the electronic department in the store once caused all the, is it DAB radios? Just DAB? What is that?
I don't know.
Caused all the DAB radios to go static. After I'd walked through the aisle, they went back to normal. The guy in the shop even commented that it's a pretty cool superpower. If I go into the... They actually wrote haha after. If I go into the garden at night, the motion detector on the external light doesn't pick up. However, it'll switch on for everyone else, including our 2 very small dogs. Light bulbs used to blow up constantly. Not so much now with energy efficient bulbs. My kids always tell me not to touch their electronics or I'll kill it. And my husband comments that our house is a place electronics come to die. It's kind of comforting to know I'm not alone. I don't really mention it to anyone because most people think I'm nuts. And that's from Fly Long Jumping 1816. That's you. Electronics go to die.
Electronics go to die more than I've probably had 10 reptile heat lamps explode.
Yeah, you have.
And right now my TV just keeps filtering on and off every 20 minutes when I'm watching it.
You've been very emotional.
I've never put any of these different things together. At least, like she said,
you're not alone. All right.
I really thought you picked this one on purpose for a second.
I wish I did. I really wish I would have put this all together too.
Teach me something about myself today.
Okay. So I used to do this all the time when they still had the high pressure sodium lights everywhere. But now that those have been all replaced, I haven't noticed it at all in the last 13 years or so. I even took a friend of mine to a randomly selected parking lot and did it with every light in the parking lot. Let me preface, this was off of a thread when people were talking about passing the lights. That's why it sounds so weird.
Gotcha.
Too bad we're poor and still had flip phones back then, or I might have the best case of proof. Another time the radio glitched out while I was driving and I got 10 in a row on major main roads by my hometown. This is so poorly written. I'm so sorry. 10, he means lights in a row on major main road in which hometowns while talking about it with friends, which were skeptical on its epic timing. The only thing I noticed that changed.
So is he saying like he hit them in green? Or
okay, so what he's saying, I edited this if you can believe that or not. What he's saying is that he used to just purposely drive by all these lights and watch them go on and off as he drove by.
Gotcha.
But then he's saying that he went to a randomly selected parking lot he's never been to and proved to his friend that it kept happening. And then on the way home on the highway, every light that they hit turned off.
So weird.
And then the radio also glitched while they were doing that. Okay. So this was really funny. This is the only reason I put it in here, even though it's poorly written. The only thing I noticed that changed when I was at the height of the ability to the point where I could almost do it voluntarily was I was taking large doses of LSD every day.
Oh my, well,
I know.
There might be something else to it then. you might have been imagining a few of those lights flickering.
Okay, so for some reason that boosted my ability to affect streetlights. Not just while tripping, mind you. Most of the time it happened while coming down or sober. When I stopped doing acid and stopped smoking weed, this stopped happening completely. It could be related or just the new lights not having the same vulnerability to whatever weird static discharge I made when my mind was expanded. And that's from Ether Serve 3269.
Don't
I had to add that
regularly take hallucinogenics like see tracer lights afterwards?
Probably.
I feel like he was maybe just seeing some tracers.
I enjoy that he started the episode. Started this by saying that it used to happen all the time, but it hasn't happened in 13 years since the lights got replaced. But then he goes on to say that it might just be because he's not taking LSD anymore. Listen,
love it.
There was a time when I took acid every day and the lights were flickering. Okay, so those are my stories. So I had to add that one in there because I thought it was so funny. I wish now that I really had like an answer for you, but I think that we kind of do have an answer.
I think we have. I mean, as usual, we make our own answers. Let's be for real.
Because it's our podcast and we can. Yes.
No, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to do. Now that I have this newfound diagnosis.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be ability.
Yeah.
You have an ability.
I'm going to start a slider support group. All right, listeners. So anybody here who thinks they might be a slider, if you just found out something new about yourself too, we're going to start a slider support group. We're going to figure out what the hell's going on. And I don't know, maybe come up with a couple bright ideas on how to fix it. See what I did there?
Bright idea. Yeah, or that would be cool to see how many other sliders we have. You know what we should do? We should go live one day while we all eat sliders and we talk about sliders.
I'm here for that.
Just so that we could have sliders.
Listen, it does not take a big excuse needed for me to eat a couple sliders.
It would be fun if we went live and everybody ate sliders.
We need to go to Green Dot.
I've never been there. I don't.
It's all sliders.
No, I've never been there. Let's go. Do you get to just pick a bunch of different ones that you want?
Yes. And they have like a bunch of like rotating ones
Where
and
is
stuff,
this
and they're
at?
all so good. It's downtown Detroit.
I've never been there.
Green Dot Stables. Oh my God, I'm taking you.
Okay.
It's so good. Okay.
Well, okay. So I was going to ask you, do you feel better about this? But I think you do. Now you know that you have an issue.
I feel less crazy about all these random things. No, literally, like the Christmas curse is like an ongoing thing in our family. Like they just assumed whatever electronic I get would die.
Denise.
But yeah, no, this is. So I was like, I know we're going to leave it in now, but I was like,
You were
we
so
need to have a
shocked.
side talk here for a second. Like, did I tell you about this?
I thought that I fucked something up because you're like, did you do this on purpose? And I was like, I thought I fucked something up. I was like, did I forget something? Like I was supposed to do something else. Like I kind of.
We finally write the same episode that we've been.
And that's also what I thought too. And I was
half.
like, oh, fuck, what happened? But
no.
All right.
No, this is wild. All right. Other sliders, let us know. Other weird psychic abilities, let us know those too. Listen, in a year and a half, we put out one paranormal postcard episode, which is your stories read back to you. We are ready to do more. Write in, babies. Anything weird. Otherwise, though, great job. I learned so much today.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Like Zach said, we'd love more stories so that we could share your experiences with everybody else. Send us photos, videos, weird shit that happens. Hopefully we have some content, if you will, from the LOEs that we can share with you once we get back.
Stay tuned.
I'm so excited. And that's really everything. Like, subscribe, comment, but most importantly, creep it real, yeah, balls.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oddity Shop.